Hi, and welcome to 7.3 Extension. So this is the lesson that really kind of puts together, I made reference to it before, that if I add up the three interior angles of any triangle, those three angles added together have to equal 180 degrees. So x plus y plus z is equal to 180. So let's try some examples of this. So for A, we're going to add 28 plus 50 plus the x is equal to 180. Now I'm going to combine like terms, so I get 78 plus x is equal to 180. I'm going to subtract 78 from both sides, and I end up with x is equal to 102. It also says to classify each triangle. Remember, read both sets of directions. So since none of if this is 102 degrees, it means that it is an obtuse triangle, sorry, because it has an obtuse angle. And none of the sides are alike, so it is a scalene triangle. This triangle, if I add up the sides, I get 45 plus 90, because remember this is a right angle, so that's 90 degrees, plus x is equal to 180. Add those together, I get 135 degrees plus x is equal to 180, and I subtract 135 from both sides, and I end up with x is equal to 45. I actually kind of knew that before I even started because of the kind of triangle this is. So we know that from the angles that is a right triangle. We also know this isosceles because it has two congruent sides. And one of the things about congruent sides, if there's two congruent sides, it means the opposite angles are also congruent and they're equal to each other. So why don't you pause me for a little bit and try these triangles and see what you get. So here I'm going to give you the answers to these. Thanks and welcome back. So if you add up these two, you get 89 degrees, which means that the x is equal to 91 degrees. And because this is an obtuse angle, you have an obtuse triangle, and it's scaling because none of the sides are the same. In number 2, x is, what happened here? X is equal to 75 when you do the math, and it is an acute triangle with scalene sides. In number 3, x is equal to 90, therefore it is a right triangle with scalene sides because none of them are congruent. Number 4, x is equal to 94 degrees, and it is a obtuse triangle with scalene sides. This triangle, again, I can look at these two and know that this is 48 degrees because it is an isosceles triangle and the opposite sides have to be congruent. So it is an isosceles acute triangle. This is the special kind of triangle where it is an equiangular equilateral triangle, and those are really special, and they always have angle measurements of 60 degrees. So this on your own is to tell whether or not triangles can have given angle measurements. Well, if we know that if we add up all of these numbers, they have to be 180 degrees, and if they don't, then it's not a triangle. It says if not, change the first angle so the measure of the angle form a triangle. So we're going to go through these. If we add them all up together, it turns out that this is a triangle because they all equal 180 degrees. So that's good. Number 8, if we add them up, it is not a triangle. So we have to change the 115. We add them all up, we end up with 255 and 6/10. So we have to subtract 180 from that, and we end up with 6, 5. I'm going to borrow here. 16, so 75 and 6/10 of degrees more than this angle should be. So if I take this and subtract that from it, I end up changing it to 39 and 5/10. Okay, so number 9 is not a triangle. This one again is actually not big enough, so we end up having to add to it. We end up with 28, and 2/3. Do not be tempted to convert these into decimals, because if you do, because they're in thirds, you're going to get a rounding error. So you're going to have to live with the fractions. Honestly, you can do fractions. I know you can. If I add all of these guys up, they equal 180 degrees, so we have a triangle there. Thanks for watching.